Hi guys, what's up? My name's Pete, and today we're here to answer the question, can you beat Pokemon Sword with only Krabby? So here are the 3 rules we followed for this challenge. First rule is I can only use Krabby. Second rule is I cannot have anybody else in my party. And third rule is pretty simple, no glitches. So those are the 3 rules that I will be abiding by for this challenge. You might see somebody else in my party for parts of the games because you need to have another Pokemon to do double battles, but when we get to those I'll explain a little bit more. So let's hop right into it, guys. Alrighty, so let's get started on this challenge. First we're going to make our character, and I'm going to name myself Mr. Krabs. I don't think I need to explain why. Second, we're going to skip pretty much the entire beginning of the game because you can't get a Krabby until you get to the first wild area, so we're just going to skip that part. We're going to hop on this train with Hop, I'm sorry about that, and then we will soon arrive at the wild area. So in the wild area, this is the earliest place that I could find that you could find a Krabby. So we ran down to West Lake Axwell to find our first Krabby. We ran into this giant version of Krabby who chased us and tried to murder us with his big meaty claws. But then we ran into a Krabby which we were looking for. And yes, I know that was Kinglish, so don't say it in the comments. So I had to catch quite a few Krabbies, as you could see. Probably a dozen or so, probably even more. And I was looking for ones with a specific ability and a decent nature that would kind of make this easier. So I caught my Krabby that I liked, and I named him Meaty because, as Mr. Krabs, we're trying to attract as many mates with these big meaty claws. So the abilities that I was looking for was Shell Armor. It basically stops you from getting critically hit. I would soon find out later that this didn't matter at all because we would just die from everything would one hit us because our stats are terrible. And then I got an Adamant Nature, which was pretty decent. So after that, I had a party full of meat, as you could see, and then we headed off to continue with the story. So we arrived at Motostoke, and we went to the hotel. We saw a bunch of little pump fans, which kind of threw me off, and then we continued on. We pretty much dumpstered Hop here in our, I don't know, what is this, like our 4th rival battle against him. So we destroyed him very quickly, and we kept moving on. This is kind of where I started to notice that this challenge would be pretty hard because Krabby's moves suck and he just is bad. So we went to Route 3 and then we went to the Galar Mines, and this is where I would meet the true boss of this entire playthrough, and that's BD, or who I like to call Bidet because he's just literal garbage and trash. He actually gave me probably the most trouble in this entire playthrough, all the battles against him. His Pokemon are fairy types, and they all have moves like Psychic or Psybeam, or I forget what else, Confusion, and he would just destroy my Krabby, and he gave me such a hard time, and he was just one-hitting me with everything, because you have to realize that Krabby has the speed of a dead horse, and his special defense and regular defense are basically worse than his speed. So the only thing good on Krabby is his attack, and his health is like mediocre at best. So this is where I realized that I'd have to kind of level up to, proceed. But I probably spent a good, 20-25 minutes trying to get past this because I tried not to over level myself too much in this playthrough. But it was the only way I could get past, this brick wall called Bidet. So after that, it took me probably, after the initial 25 minutes, I leveled up. Then it probably took me like 2 or 3 tries to beat him. It kind of fell a little bit to RNG because I didn't want to over level myself too much. But in the end, we triumphed and we beat him. Then Sonia showed us a picture of a Dynamax Pokemon with a boner, which was kind of weird. But then after that, I had to go back and get leftovers and equip it because I realized how hard this playthrough was going to be. After that, we headed off to the first gym leader, Milo. And it bothered me that he had 6 Pokemon balls on his belt when he only used 2 Pokemon. I thought that this gym was going to be easier. I don't know why I would think that since he has the type advantage, but it wound up being completely impossible. But I kept at it. I didn't want to level up anymore, so I kept just kind of hammering myself away, and I kind of fell back on good stomp flinches and getting a good run on him. I thought it was over because his max overgrowth would just instantly kill me, and what I did to combat this is I gave Krabby a few Dynamax candies to increase his health. So basically, we got to this point where you see he hits me with a, I think it's a max strike. I got lucky and I lived with 1 HP. So I was really nervous about this. I gained some health back from the leftovers, but then I just decided to stall him out until he came out of his Dynamax form. And for some reason, I was faster than him after this, and then I was able to finish it off with the stomp. So we finally cleared the grass gym. It was actually pretty hard. It probably took me a good 20-25 minutes because I didn't want to level myself up and become too powerful. So we kept going on. We met up with the guy, got the bike, hop on in another battle. I mean, this was just like an embarrassment for him. We literally stomped the yard with his team, literally. We just stomped all the way through it. So after the difficulty with that first gym leader, I then kind of realized that this playthrough is going to be kind of rough in the beginning anyway, because Krabby doesn't have any good moves in the beginning. So we finished top, we headed over to Hulberry, and that's where we met up with Nessa. We tried to pick her up on the pier, but she wasn't having any of it. We finished talking to her. We headed into her gym where we basically did free plumbing. I don't know what that was about. After that, we went to face up against Nessa, and I didn't think that this was going to be a bad one because she's a water-type gym leader, I'm using a water-type, so, I mean, I didn't think I was going to be hard at all, but it wound up being pretty hard because her Goldeen would do things like use Water Pulse, and I would get confused. I was getting, like, really, really bad RNG, basically, and it was just kind of annoying, but I just kept trying, and I waited to get a good roll. And I leveled up a little bit from battling her, and I was starting to get some good moves. Like, I had Protect, I had Stomp, so things were getting a little bit better for me. So we finally did take her down, and I was happy about that. But then we ran into him again. We ran into the nemesis of this goddamn playthrough, BD. BD just continued to destroy us, and couldn't get past him again. I mean, he just kept one-hitting us with everything, and it was a problem, because Krabby's got no health or defenses in any way. So I had to go level up again, and then finally we were able to take him out when I was leveled up. After this, we finally met our other rival, Marnie, and then I came to realize that she was actually worse than BD. So we showed up to the hotel, met her. She saw the size of our big meaty claws. Then we got into the battle with her, and what would be me ramming my head into the brick wall called Marnie. She was basically impossible for me to beat. Her Krogunk and her Morpeg were basically just the bane of my existence. The problem here was that her Krogunk just did a lot of damage to me. He would hit me for like 75% of my health, and then the main issue was her Morpeg was faster than me, and one Thunderbolt would kill me. So I had to figure out a way to either survive a Thunderbolt or be faster than her. So the real issue here was I was never going to be faster than her. So after ramming my head into the brick walled cold Marnie for about, 45 minutes, I basically had to go level up. I didn't want to, but I had to go get leveled up, and I got to like, what am I, like 10 levels higher than her here, and she's still faster than me, but I was able to live a Thunderbolt, so I finally did get past her. After that, we went to the fire gym leader, and I'm assuming you guys could expect how this went. This was pretty much a walk in the park. At this point, we had gotten Razor Shell, so that was a pretty good move. And we pretty much just dominated his whole team. We didn't have too much issues. I mean, the Arcanine took 2 hits instead of 1 hit. But we were rolling pretty good at this point. So we Dynamaxed. We used our Max Geyser to finish off his big slithery thingy. I don't even know what that Pokemon's name is. So after that, we were successful. We one-hit that, and we were finished with the fire gym. So we were going to continue on with our journey. Now we had 3 gym badges, and we were off. So we went to leave for the next area, and we got stopped. Our tall drink of water, Nessa, stopped to try to pick us up, but we denied her. We kept moving on. We came across his 2 little pump fans annoying this snake Pokemon thingy that was kind of weird. After this, we had another rival battle with Hop, which we made short work of. We pretty much instantly killed him. We were on a roll now. And then we headed to the next gym where Bay fisted us. This was kind of weird. I don't really get this. But at this point, we showed up to fight Bay, and this is where things got pretty good. We had acquired the move Sword Stance. So from this point on, things are going to pick up in the pace of which I do this video, because Sword Dance makes things a lot easier, and it kind of becomes if I can get set up or not. So it was kind of like an RNG, so to see if I could get, how many Sword Dances I could get up. So I would continue on, make quick work of her entire team, and we were done. We had beaten the 4th gym leader and gotten our badge. We then left the gym and we found BD ramming his head into a wall with another Pokemon. So this caused him to battle me, but he didn't know we got Swords Dance. So we made really quick work of his team. After that, we headed to the Glimwood Tangle and then to the next gym. This gym, I actually had more trouble with the gym, like the gym trainers, than the actual gym leader, because they were just like one-hitting me and they were faster than me and I couldn't really get set up on them. After this, we showed up to the gym. And we met the old lady. Is she sleeping? I think she's literally asleep. But we got I think 2 Sword Dances, and we set up on this gym, and we made pretty quick work of her. It was after this that we had to have another fight with Hop, our favorite rival. Hop was kind of an issue here because he had 2 Pokemon that he started out with that countered me hard. He had a Grass type, and he had an Electric type. So the only way for me to remedy this was by leveling up so that I could survive the attacks. After this, we made short work of the next gym leader. It's not even worth talking about. We just instantly killed him. So we headed to Spike Mouth, where we couldn't get in. Somebody locked the door on us. But luckily for us, Marnie wanted to see our big meaty claw again. And this battle here was actually the hardest battle in the entire run, believe it or not, because her team just destroyed us in every way. Her first Pokemon had Torment, so we couldn't get 2 Sword Dances off because you can't use the same move twice. Or her Morpeg would just outspeed us and use Thunderbolt or Spark, and by the time we killed it, we just had lost too much health. And then she had this Toxicroak. This thing was the bane of our existence because it would just one-hit us and instantly kill us every time. It would literally do like 150 points of damage to us with Venoshock. So the only way that we could possibly get around this was by leveling up. So after we leveled up, we finally beat her. Now we finally arrived at Spike Mouth, or Spike Month, whatever it is. And this is where Little Pump was actually holding a concert. And to my surprise, he was actually the gym leader here. We didn't really have too much issues with him. I mean, I just kind of killed myself in 2 battles against him because I didn't realize that Foul Play was using my attack damage. I forgot about that. So I kind of killed myself there. But after that, we got through pretty well. I just barely lived after the Skunk Tank. And we got the gym badge. We now had 7 badges, and we were off to the races. After this, we read a news article that Leon was beating the shit out of like innocent Pokemon in the wild, but then we were off to the next gym leader. The issues with this gym was like the double battles. I mean, it was just hard. Like Krabby sucks enough, but to have to fight 2 people was a pain in the ass by himself because the other Krabby would just die, and I wouldn't use any attacks with it. I would only use Harden. I mean, these battles were just kind of like, RNG and Swords Dancing. So I'm going to kind of pick up the pace now because I know you guys don't want to watch me just fucking slowly get my way through these battles. We finally arrived at Wydun, and this is where the end of the game would happen. Yet again, we ran into Marnie. She was a problem again, but the thing was we were able to get 2 Swords Dances in the beginning, so it made it a little bit easier. I didn't mention before, the issue with the Toxicroak 2 was that it had dry skin, so I had to switch my moves up so that I could actually hurt it, because otherwise I would just be healing it. But we barely made it through there, and she had her final Pokemon, I think, is a Grimmsnarl, which she Gigantamaxes, but we one-hit it because we were double Swords Danced, which wasn't an issue. We killed her, and then after we had to fight Hop. I mean, Hop was still a joke. We just Swords Danced up, and it was pretty much over. I'm not going to show you too much of that part because it's pretty boring. It's just me stalling with Protect and then using Swords Dance and just kind of like doing it. Also, I wanted to show you guys that I forgot to Dynamax when he Dynamaxed, and I killed him with a tiny Krabby. I killed this giant Pokemon, which I thought was kind of funny. After this, we had to face Chairman Rose's headmistress, which she's kind of got those crazy eyes, but in a way, she's kind of sexy. I don't know, as far as like video game characters go. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Her last Pokemon was literal trash. Like, literally. So we took it out pretty quick. We didn't have any issues. She seemed quite upset about it. But at least she got to see our big meaty claws in the end. After this, you know who shows up again. The boy wonder himself. It was hard. I had to level up again, but you know, I figured out a way to beat him by Dynamaxing early, believe it or not. I would Dynamax like right away to get through his Pokemon, and then I could kind of survive. His Hatternin, or whatever that thing is was actually died like instantly, and it didn't do like any damage to me, so that was good. After this, I just wiped the floor with Nessa again, Bay again, and Raheen again. This was actually a lot easier because it wasn't a double battle, so it was just kind of me. We had to stall each other out. I had to wait for his Dynamax form to end, and then we were off to Chairman Rose himself. This was actually a bitch and a half because, like, the first 3 Pokemon that he has are super tanky, and they counter me, and they all have, like, Mega Horn. So it, like, hurts me a lot. So it was a problem. After this, you know we have to go up against the other guy. The big elephant thing. So I was actually nervous about this because it's got a lot of health. And I thought it was going to one-hit me. And I didn't have Dynamax form anymore because I used it in the beginning. But I actually just one-shot it with a Crab Hammer. So it was actually pretty funny. Then we ran into a problem. We found somebody with a bigger and meatier claw than us. So this was going to be an issue. We didn't want him attracting more mates than us. So basically, Eternatus, we murdered him because he had a bigger and meatier claw. I mean, that's all I really have to say about this. Now, after beating Eternatus, it was on to the champion of the league, King Short Shorts himself, Leon. It was an issue. I soon found out that pretty much every one of his Pokemon had a move that was super effective against me, but it didn't even matter because any move he would use on me would just one-hit me anyway, like Shadow Ball or Knock Off or pretty much anything else. So it was an issue. I tried Dynamaxing earlier. It didn't work. Knock Off was annoying. He would knock off my leftovers, so I didn't even make it far if I did get past his Rillaboom. But there was only one thing I could do at this point. I then did with what any sane person would do. I went to the store, and you're not going to expect what I did next. I bought my own Short Shorts, because that's the only way to battle Short Shorts is with more Short Shorts. Also, I might have went out into the wild area and trade Krabby up to level 100. This was good because I could actually survive one hit now, but it was still a problem because anything that hit me would bring me down to like 10 HP. So it was kind of a back and forth of me healing and doing this. I got pretty good RNG on this fight against his Rillaboom where he didn't use knockoff, but I found out that it still sucked because I had to, you know, like protect, heal. It was just kind of a long fight, so I won't bore you with it. But after this, his Haxorus was an issue. His Outrage was like borderline killing me, and I was worried about him getting a crit and just winning because this was my best run so far. So I kind of waited it out and waited for it to get confused after the Outrage by using Protect. And it hurt itself, and I won. After this, the Rhyperior was a joke. I had Crab Hammer, which is a Water-type move. And he actually missed his attack on me, which was pretty good. And then after this, you know what comes next. The big boy himself, Charizard. So I was pretty nervous about this Charizard because it had Solar Beam and Air Slash, but I was like, hey, Solar Beam he has to charge up for, so maybe I could, like, you know, prepare or get one hit in. But then I remembered that he's just going to Gigantamax right away, and I got really nervous because Solar Beam turns into Max Overgrowth, and he could use that right away. So I was really concerned. I was like, maybe he'll use Air Slash, but he used Max Overgrowth, and I pooped a little bit because I thought I was going to die, but I wound up living with like a little bit of HP, like 38. And I was like so nervous because this is the farthest, and it took so many runs to get to this point. I was really nervous. But I hit him with the Max Geyser. I also had one Swords Dance under my belt from the beginning of the battle with H-Slash, and we one-hit him. And we officially beat Pokemon Sword with Krabby. I was super excited, and it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. In the end, this challenge was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and not for the reasons that I thought. This challenge was actually harder in the beginning of the game. I mean, the small, stupid stuff that is usually easier was actually harder, like just trainers on routes, or gym trainers, or your rivals. I actually had a lot more issues with them than I did the main battles, like gym leaders, or Leon himself. I had a lot more issues with that stuff because Krabby is super weak in the beginning, and it's just like it's a complete dumpster fire, honestly. But I would encourage you guys to try to see for yourself. Just like play to the first, play the first 3 gym leaders with just a Krabby, and you'll see for yourself. It's kind of annoying, but I did it in the end, and I had a lot of fun doing it. This is kind of a new video for me, so I would really enjoy if you guys commented down below and let me know if you liked it, and also let me know if this is something you'd want to see more of in the future. I'm also thinking about, if you guys are interested in, I was going to upload some of the full battles. Like, I was going to put the full battle of Leon so you guys could see just exactly how I beat him, and maybe some of the other ones, like the final battle with Marnie, or maybe some of the other tougher gyms. If you want to see any, if there's any interest in that, you guys just let me know in the comments. But all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a ton of work to make. I'm not used to doing this much editing, but it was definitely a fun learning experience. So thanks for joining me on this journey, guys. I had a lot of fun, and make sure if you liked the video, please actually do leave a like and subscribe, because it helps me out a lot and it makes me want to make more content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Peace out.